who's got a birthday today. Happy birthday to you.
So it is our birthday, and it is also the Food and Meat it's their birthday as well. So that makes 2 birthdays this month. So we thought, what better to do for our birthdays than to make cake? I'm Laura, I'm the owner of Rustic Scoop, and we sure love birthdays. It is our 2nd birthday, and it is also the Food and Meat's 2nd birthday. We happen to be born. Our business is the same month and the same year. So we are super excited. You know, we love partnering with the Food and Meat Co-op. We do about 1 to 2 lives every month to show you what you can do with our mixes. All of our mixes are gluten-free, top 8 allergen-free, and 2 of them contain coconut sugar and 2 of them don't. So 2 of them are top 9 allergen-free. And, oh, here's the other kicker. So this month is also Celiac Disease Awareness Month. So we have 2 celiacs in our house. And this week is also Food Allergy Awareness Week. Our family also has food allergies, and I know many of you have food allergies or celiac or gluten-free for other health reasons or choice. And we love you all. We are super excited to be able to celebrate with you because we have learned over time that you absolutely can celebrate. You can have your cake and eat it too, even if you have celiac disease, you're gluten-free for other reasons, or you have food allergies. And we are going to show you how to do that today. So we are thrilled to be able to give you cake. This is one of the very first recipes that we fed everybody, and this was decades ago, over a decade ago, decade and a half. So I made this chocolate cake recipe a very long time ago, and we started feeding it to everybody because we'd have parties and we needed our kids to be safe. So 2 of our little ones had really severe food allergies from the time they were itty bitty, like weeks old, and growing through the time that they were 6, and our youngest still has food allergies to peanuts and tree nuts. She is 9 and a half. She would love me to tell you about the half. So we've made this cake forever, and people absolutely love it. Love it, love it, whether you have food allergies or not. So if you would like to buy our 4-pack, which is called the sampler, it's one of each of our mixes, chocolate cake and cupcake, which we're doing today. And then we have pancake and waffle. We have a sandwich bread, and we also have a pizza crust mix as well. They all make different recipes also, which is why we do lives every month to show you what else they can do. They're awesome. If you have questions, let us know. If you want to buy the sampler, just in the comment box below, write sold 100, and the sampler will be yours. So I'm going to scroll down here and make sure I can see comments. If you have comments or questions, please let me know. I don't want to be talking to myself because that's never fun. I'm going to refresh my Facebook feed over here and see if I can actually find you all today, because sometimes I have a hard time finding you on Facebook. I'm going to do my best. If not, I will answer as many questions as I can, and I will come back at the end if I missed any, and I will type the answers in the comment box. I sure appreciate when you guys come and join us. Today we are going to make chocolate cake. We're going to actually make cupcakes, but you can make cake with our mix as well. And I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to make our cupcakes or a whole cake. And then I'm going to give you a little simple frosting tutorial, because if you don't know me, I love to frost. I'm not a super fancy froster, but I really, really love frosting cake and cupcakes. I don't know, it's a creative outlet for me. So this is a super fun day for me for lots of reasons. So we're going to start with our chocolate cake and cupcake mix. Now, I don't have a written recipe. You get the written recipe on the blog, so make sure you check the blog later. It will be there with the frosting recipe. And our frosting, people ask us for the recipe for our frosting all the time. Now you have it, and you can use it whenever you want. So we are going to frost. So the recipe is on the back. That's why I don't have a printout of it today, because I can read it myself, just like you can when you get our mix. So we're going to start with shortening. We're going to cream our shortening. Creaming just means you beat it until it's nice and soft and it's not chunky. So some people don't want to use shortening. We use an organic palm shortening that's free trade, all those good things. But if you still don't want to use shortening, people do use, and I have done as well, coconut oil. You want it so that it's not liquid. You want it to be in the hardened state. Little caveat though is it will taste like coconut. So if you don't mind the flavor of coconut with your chocolate, then you go right ahead and you can use coconut oil. So if you're just now joining us, we are making chocolate cake and we're going to do a frosting tutorial. Normally I try to stay about 20 minutes for our lives. It might be a little bit longer today with our frosting tutorial, so hang in there if you want to see the frosting tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on and cream it. Doesn't take long. And then I'm going to add in the rest of my liquid ingredients. So some lemon juice. You can also do white vinegar or apple cider vinegar if you need to. Some vanilla, because you know vanilla and chocolate, they're really great together. And then milk. So you can do any milk that you want to. Any milk works. I am currently, if you've watched any of our lives, I use coconut milk beverage, the one that you find in a carton, not in a can, because I think it behaves the most similar to a traditional dairy milk, but use whatever milk works for you. We've done rice. We haven't done almond because we have almond allergy in our house, but you can use whatever you want. I have so many things going on here, I gotta find a spatula. Okay. So I'm just going to scrape this down. Again, if you're just joining us live, I'm Laura, I'm the owner of Rustic Scoop. We are making chocolate cupcakes today, and we're going to do a little frosting tutorial as well. And if you would like to buy our sampler, it's one of every one of our mixes. It's chocolate cake and cupcake, pancake and waffle, sandwich, and pizza crust. Just in the comment box, write sold 100 and it's yours. Pretty simple and easy. All of our mixes are gluten-free and top 8 allergen-free. Super easy and super delicious and loved by people with and without food allergies. That was our goal, is that it wouldn't be funky and weird and only people with food allergies would like them, or celiac, because that does nobody any favors, including us. So, it's great food. Okay, now we're going to slowly add in our chocolate cake and cupcake. Again, if you have questions, let me know. I'm going to scroll on over here. Sorry about that. Okay. We are down here. Sorry. When I'm by myself, I got to scroll through lots of different stuff. All right. So we're going to turn our mixer. You can use a stand mixer or you can use a hand mixer. You don't want to do it by hand with just a bowl and a spoon. When you're using butter that's not melted or shortening or coconut oil, in this instance, if you want to use coconut oil, you're going to have a hard time mixing it really well with a spoon and a bowl. If you really want an arm workout, you go for it and use a whisk. So you can do it, but it'll be challenging. Much easier to use a mixer of some sort. So we're going to put it on low and we're going to mix in slowly. And you want to mix in slowly so you don't get chunks, because nobody wants chunky cupcakes or cake. So remember, we want to have our cake and eat it too. So we want to make sure it's good. All right. And we always want to make sure that we scrape down the sides of our bowl, because often lots of stuff gets stuck there. And we want to make sure that we get everything mixed in properly. Okay. I'm going to keep mixing, and then I'll show you the consistency when we're done mixing. whites. It was looking too thick. Hang on, I left them in my fridge, so of course they didn't go bad. I'll be right back. I knew something was amiss because I make these all the time, and I was like, it's a little thicker than it should be. And of course my eggs made a mess in my fridge, so I'll be cleaning out my fridge later. That's fun. All right. Now I have to wash my hands. Sorry, everybody. And wipe up my counter. Okay. Sorry about that. I knew it just wasn't quite right. Okay, so we're gonna mix again. Now it has the eggs in it. If you cannot do eggs, you can use aquafaba, which is garbanzo bean water from a can of garbanzo beans or chickpeas, whatever you want to call them. The water inside, and it would take 6 tablespoons of aquafaba. If you can't do that, you can also do a powdered egg replacer. We did that for probably a decade because our kids had egg allergy. They do not anymore. I just have one that had egg allergy and now she just hates them. She can eat them safely, she just won't. So, unless it's in stuff. Okay, this is looking much better. This is why I want to show you the consistency so you know what it's supposed to look like too. So make sure you ask questions if you have questions, or comment and say hello so I know I'm not talking to myself. Okay. Much better. Much, much, much better. Okay, we're going to show you. It's nice and smooth. I'm going to scrape it down here, and I'm going to make sure I scrape down the bottom, make sure there's nothing stuck at the bottom, because sometimes the shortening likes to get stuck at the bottom, and you don't want that. You want it well mixed all together. Other than that, it's not very fussy, which I like. I don't like fussy. All right, so I will show you the consistency here. It is nice and smooth. It's so lovely. Smooth. It smells so chocolatey and lovely. Kind of looks like pudding slightly, but it's not. Okay, now I'm gonna set this aside so that I can show you what I'm doing over here. Now I'm gonna remember we're making cupcakes. So you're gonna spray your cupcake papers. I already put the liners in. This does have soy. If you can't do soy, you're gonna need to do another spray that works for you. Just gonna spray these real fast. Okay, and now you're gonna use a cookie scoop if you have one. If not, this is approximately 1/3 of a cup. And you want to make sure, if you don't have 1/3 of a cup, or you'd want to just wing it by hand, you want to make sure that your cupcake liners are about 2/3 full so it has time to rise. Not time to rise, so it has space to rise. Okay, so you just want to do flat, and then it makes a nice dome. That's why I love using cookie scoops. I use cookie scoops for everything. I really do. I use these all the time. I have lots of different sizes. It just makes it so fast and easy. You don't have to weigh stuff if you care to weigh stuff. This makes 12 cupcakes or 14. I made 14 this morning. If you want to overfill them slightly, you can, but then I'll show you what happens if you overfill them, because I did it just so you could see this morning. It makes them kind of a funky, slight mushroomy shape, and then they're hard to decorate. And we don't want that. Okay. And so we filled our whole thing, and then I'm going to put it in the oven to bake. And I also made some so we don't have to wait for them to bake so you guys can see them. But I'm gonna put these in the oven. "22 minutes. Ta-da! They're done. Wasn't that fast? Don't we love how fast TV can be? Okay, so I'm going to show you a little comparison of what they look like if you overfill them. So this is not overfull. See, it has just like a nice dome shape, and this is overfull. You can see it's kind of hanging off here. It's just kind of a funky, odd shape. So that's what's going to happen if you overfill them, so then they're hard to decorate. And we don't want hard to decorate because decorating is the most fun part. So now, if you like to decorate or you want to learn how to decorate, I get these by the box. So Wilton, you don't have to use Wilton, I just use Wilton because they're easy to find. Piping bags, and then I have 3 tips. I'm going to show you what tips I'm going to use. So I'm using a star tip. There we go. You can see it's an open star. It's the big one. And the easiest way that I have found to make sure that I don't cut too far is you want to put them all the way to the bottom where you can see that it's going to stop, and then I mark it with my fingernail just above where the design is. So I just mark it with my fingernail, and then I pull it slightly up, and then I can still see the mark that I made with my fingernail, and I cut. Again, if you want to buy our sampler, it's one of all of our mixes. Just write in the comment box sold 100 and they're yours. Okay, I already made frosting, so I wouldn't waste our time making frosting today. Again, you have the recipe. Here's how I do frosting. So when I make frosting, I make really big batches of frosting. And so then I freeze them in bags flat. I write what it is on top of it. And so this is vanilla frosting. It makes it easy. I pulled it out this morning and it is now the perfect consistency to pipe for you guys. I also have pink. So we don't do any food dye here in our house. We only do dye-free frosting. And so this is made with beetroot powder. That's how I got pink. That is also vanilla. And then we are going to make, this is actually peppermint because it's what I had. Those are the 3 I had in my freezer. I'm gonna make this green with you. This is peppermint. So we'll get to that later. But when you are going to fill your piping bag, you wanna fold it right side out, inside out. And you want to take a spoon and, okay, that's our open tip. I'm going to do pink flowers. So we'll do rosettes and then we'll also do, I'll show you. I forget what it's called, but it's also with a big star tip. The tips that I get are also Wilton. Again, I'm not necessarily partial to Wilton. They're easy to find. I can get them at Walmart. I can get them anywhere. So when you use dye-free frosting, sometimes you get chunks. So I'm pulling out a chunk of beetroot powder. Okay, so I'm gonna add my frosting, and I'll show you the consistency when we pipe so that you know that it's the right consistency, because you don't want it so thick that you can't pipe it, and you don't want it so watery or so runny that it won't hold its shape when you do pipe it. So you just put in, and then I pull off with my fingers from the outside of the bag so I'm not getting messy. And then you want to fill the bag quite a ways so that you have room to actually pipe, because once it gets to the bottom, like down here, when there's hardly anything in it, it's really hard to pipe because there's not enough volume in the bag. So I'm going to keep filling here. And again, you have the recipe for our frosting. It will come out on the blog, I think today. Okay, so again, we're just scraping and pulling. If you have questions, let me know. What do you want to know today? Okay, so I have it about half full. I'll show you so then you pull the outside of the bag up. And then I use my fingers and I squeeze, because you don't want air pockets, because then when you pipe, if you get air pockets, you're gonna get air pockets in your piping. Okay, so you can see it's nice and flat, and then I grab and I twist, because you don't want to squeeze from the middle. It will squirt out the top and the bottom, and you don't want to squirt from the bottom because then it all squirts up. So you want to squirt from the top down. So you want to squeeze here. So we're going to make rosettes to start, but we'll also make other designs as well. Okay, so you want to make sure you can see. You want to squeeze out and you want to press a little bit and then gently start going in a circle. You see my frosting is nice and soft, but it's still keeping its shape. You go all the way to the outside. It's this beautiful rosette. Super simple. I am not a professional by any stretch of the imagination. I just really enjoy frosting cakes, and I've done it a lot. All of my kids have birthdays in October, so I do a lot of frosting for lots of birthdays. Okay, so we'll do another one. So you just want to press down gently until it starts coming out the sides, and then you want to go out to the edges and around, and then gently pull out. We'll do one more, and then I'll show you how to do other designs to add to some other embellishments. One more, and squeeze out and around. See, super simple, super pretty. And then I will show you how to do, again, I don't know what to call it. You can tell me what. So you want to go out and around, but then you're going to start going up. And then gently up. Super cute. I always frost them crooked. Anyways, they're never in the center, but they're still super cute and pretty and really simple. And so now we're gonna move on. I'm gonna scroll my screen here for a second while I get my other white vanilla ready. I'm gonna scroll over here. Okay, so now we are gonna do, this is also an open star tip, but it's small. And this one's metal. It doesn't really matter if you have metal or if you have plastic, either tip works. So again, you're gonna come all the way down. You're gonna mark it with your fingernail or whatever you wanna mark it with. All right, and I'm gonna open this one up. I'm Laura, I'm the owner of Rustic Scoop. If you're just joining us, we are making chocolate cupcakes, and I'm giving you a really simple frosting tutorial because we love celebrating. It is our birthday this week, and it is also the Food and Meat's second birthday as well. So we're celebrating with cake. Okay, so this is just white frosting, vanilla, no food coloring at all. Now, if your frosting seems too soft, you can always add a little bit of powdered sugar to it. If it seems too stiff, add a tiny, and I do mean tiny, bit of milk, whatever milk works for you, to your frosting when you're mixing it. A tiny bit goes a long way with frosting. Okay. So again, this one I'm not going to put quite as much because this is not the main color of the cupcake, so I don't quite need as much. Again, to get it all down to the bottom, I'm going to use my fingers, kind of like scissors, and I just squeeze down. You want to make sure you get as much air out as you can, and you want it to evenly get pushed down. Again, you want to grab from the top and twist, and these are just super cute embellishment. So I'll show you, it is a star tip, but it has lots of points on it. And I'm just gonna go in here and I'm going to press down and lift up. How cute. They're so cute. I'm gonna do 3 because odd numbers is always best. Super cute, super, super cute. You can do them on the outside if you want. I mean, really, whatever works for you. I'll do them on the side on this one. So you just want to gently press. Sorry, my lighting's going in and out. Gently press and then pull out. Gently press and then pull out. Super duper cute. It's super simple. I promise if I can do this, you really can do this. I learned how to frost cakes by watching YouTube, for real. Okay, so this one I'll do it way over here on this side. Again, press down gently and pull out. Press down gently and pull out. Things always look better in odd numbers. So there you go, super simple. Now if you're gonna do this type, because I like to frost crooked, I don't know why. You guys, I've tried forever and a day to really not do that, and it always still comes out crooked. 1, 2, 3. So I kind of fix my mess up. Frosting really is so easy. And then we're gonna make green because I'm gonna show you how to make leaves. Leaves just, I don't know, I love leaves. This is peppermint, so you know, you probably wouldn't really want to do that. Peppermint and chocolate go well together, but you know, if you have other vanilla frosting, it might be a little strange. So I'm just doing this all for you. You're welcome. Again, if you have questions, let me know. Let's see. Okay, so I'm putting it in a dish over here because I'm going to add green to it, and I'll show you what I'm doing. This one's messy. Now I need another paper towel. Or a regular towel. Okay, so spirulina powder we use for green. The deal with spirulina powder though is that if you use too much, it has a funky flavor, and we don't want that. But if you just use a little bit, and a little bit really goes a long way for color, you can see here, real powdery. You just do a little bit, I mean, a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. I didn't even use that whole thing. And then you can't taste it at all. I ask my family all the time, are you sure you can't taste it? Are you sure you can't? They say, no, Mom, I can't taste it. So, we don't want funky tasting frosting. And if it's not enough, like this wasn't enough, I'll show you when my lighting gets better. So it's a light green. We want a little darker though. So again, I'm just sprinkling. You can make a paste also with the spirulina with a little tiny bit of hot water and then mix it in. But my frosting is already soft enough as it is, and so I didn't want to add more liquid to it. Again, if I was using this, I would probably add more powdered sugar, but it'll be okay. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. And you want to do just a little bit at a time, because we tell our kids all the time, you can always add more, but you can't take any out. So, okay. So you can see it's not super dark green. I could keep mixing, but I don't think it's necessary. So I have a leaf tip. You can buy tips really inexpensively. Again, you can get them online. It's got this funny shape, but it makes super cute leaves. So that's what we're going for. I'm gonna scroll up here for a moment. Okay. I think I froze on Facebook, and I'm not sure why. So sorry if you're over on Facebook and I'm frozen. I'm really sorry about that. So again, we're gonna fold down. And I'm going to scoop my green frosting that I just made in here. And again, I didn't make a lot because it's just an embellishment. And so when you make frosting and you're gonna make embellishments, you can divide it. But for your embellishments, you don't need to have that much. You need enough so that the squeezing is easy. Like we talked about earlier, if you missed it, go back and watch. But not too much so that you waste it. But if you have leftovers, of course, like you saw, I freeze it. So you can go ahead and freeze it as well. So I want to squeeze, get it all down. Oh, it would help if I cut this one. Don't mind me. like, why is it wanting to go to the bottom? Okay, so my tip. And then with this one, it is flat on one side. And so you do want it to come out straight with the edges of your piping bag. Okay, so again, we want to go from the top. And this one is unhappy with me. Okay, so I'm going to take my rosette, because of course rosettes have leaves, right? And so where this tail is that came off, you know, it might look not totally nice. I'm gonna put our leaf right there. So you're gonna squeeze and hold and then gently pull out. I mean, seriously. Is it so cute? You guys, I'm sorry, I get really nerdy. I love, so in and out. They're so cute. I wish you guys were my neighbor. Whenever I do these lives, my neighbors get lots of food. I always call them like, please come help because we can't eat this much food. So anyways, we'll do another one. So you want to squeeze and hold gently so it squirts out. Oh, maybe I'll do it closer. And then push down and out and down and out. And it makes the cutest leaf. Down and out and down and out. So cute. Okay, if you have questions, let me know. Again, I'm frozen on Facebook. I'm really sorry. I have no idea what happened. If you do have questions, I will come back and answer them. I really apologize. And then the other thing that I love about cake decorating is sprinkles. Because I love sprinkles. They're so cute. They're such a simple, easy way to make cupcakes super cute and look really fancy if you don't want to have to be really fancy. And so I get sprinkles all the time. Walmart has them on sale, different seasons, they'll have a sales section. And so I stock up all the time. And so let's do this one. These are cute. Pink. Well, since we're doing a pink theme, and then I'll show you how cute it just adds an embellishment to these. I mean, really. And it makes it look like you're really fancy and you can really make fancy cupcakes and it doesn't take much. You watched me do it. And again, if I can do this, I promise you can do it too. Okay, so I'll show you this one and then I'll do a different color on the other one. So super cute. It just adds a flair to it and all it takes is a little pinch. Okay, we're gonna finish up here in a second. I'm almost done. Again, if you have questions, let me know. I think I'm frozen everywhere so nobody has questions because nobody's there. Okay, but you can go and watch the replay. So again, I'm just gonna sprinkle these on top and some are gonna go falling off and that's okay. If you're okay with the mess, they're easy to clean up because they roll like roly-polies. Okay, and then I love this I just got. Again, I told you, if I find sprinkles for a good deal. So these are just balls, you can see. I have a gold one, but I think I'm gonna choose white because it will match better. And I just stick it right there on top because often there will be this little kind of imperfection at the top. But look how cute. Super cute. I did it. You can guaranteed do it too. If you have questions outside of this video, because nobody I think is there live with me because I'm frozen. But if you have questions, send me an email, send me a DM, a PM. You can, whatever, you can call me, whatever works for you. Go ahead and give me a call. If you want to buy our sampler, which is one of all of our mixes, they're all gluten-free and top 8 allergen-free, write sold 100 in the comment box and they'll be yours. Thank you so much for joining us whenever you get to join us. I am thrilled to be able to allow you to have cake and eat it too, even with food allergies, celiac, other special diets, because cake is so amazing and we are celebrating our birthdays and we want you to be able to celebrate with us. Have an awesome rest of your day and the rest of your week.